Hello guys and welcome back to Dance Mums Season 3, and we are ranking the dances from Season 3B. Now, if you were here last week, you will know that this is where we ended up. We ended up with this ranking. If you want to find out my reasons for each of these placements, you can go back to last week's episode and listen. If you have already listened to them, welcome to the video. As you can tell, I am still on holiday and I will be back soon-ish. Well, by the time you're watching this, I'll have already been back. I would just not have had time to make a video for today. So this is more filler content, guys. Welcome. But anyway, we are going to jump straight into this. As you saw in the last episode, those are the tier lists, the sort of like tier sections, the categories is the word I was looking for. And we are just going to jump straight back into it. So, Return to Grace. This was the reincarnation dance. Yeah, every dance is replaceable. I can't lie, guys. This was a dance that was not rememberable. Not memorable in the slightest. I forgot it happened to the point where I went back to this video and I was like, what is this episode? Because I remember the next dance I'm going to talk about very vividly. In fact, where has that gone? Apologies, guys. I just had to find what happened to my Machine Lines photo. It got lost somewhere in the mix. But back to Return to Grace. It was just a bit boring, I can't lie. Like, it just wasn't memorable. And it's a shame because it went up against, in the same week, Machine Lines. And that could potentially be one of the best dances we've ever seen on this show. I was about to say Grey's Anatomy. I don't know where I got Grey's Anatomy from. I think it was just such a powerful number. I wish we'd have gotten to see an extended cut of it because it really didn't get the justice it was deserved with the edit. So I wish that there was like a longer version out there. There probably is. I just haven't looked for it. I can't lie. But it was a very, very, very good dance. And it was just strong. It was so unbelievably strong. And the boys were a formidable force for like a long time. They started to lose their sort of steam towards the end. It started to get a little bit, oh, okay, we're doing the same thing. Spinny head dude's coming out and he's doing his little thing. But at this point, it was still really powerful. And I actually think that the absence of Spinny head dude really, really helped this number thrive, I guess, because they were able to do a fully technical routine that looked great. Also helped that they had a fantastic choreographer and it wasn't bloody what's his face. I don't even remember his name. That's how irrelevant he is in my life. But you know who I mean, the nasty man who was always shouting at the kids. But next up, we do have Free the People. Every dance is replaced. In fact, I put this bottom of the pyramid. I thought it was dreadful. I thought it was absolutely dreadful. There was one moment in particular where I went, this is probably one of the worst dances I've seen on Dance Mums. And it was when Asia was running with the flag and everyone was chasing after her. And it just looks messy. I was like, what's going on here? Why are we choreographing running on stage in a dance? It looks awful. Genuinely bad. And then the whole kerfuffle with getting the flag the wrong way up. I just thought if there's one thing you don't do is put a flag on stage, because heaven forbid you get it wrong. You'll get some Texas person in the audience being like, how dare you disrespect the flag like that? And it's just not okay. It's not okay at the end of the day. You just got to roll with the punches. But honestly, this was not a great dance. I think it was weak. I don't think it was interesting. I think it was very basic. It also came in the week with the whole sort of like, let's vote Chloe or Maddie, see who's better. So I feel like I was just in a foul mood that episode. And this didn't improve my mood any way, shape or form. It was just bad. It was not enjoyable in the slightest. But yeah, it is where it is. We're moving on to Hear No Evil. I would put that up in applause. I'd probably put it under the Angels and Demons and before Gold Digger. This was really, really good. So this was the number without Maddie. So Maddie was not in this number. And honestly, I thought that it actually worked really, really well without her. She can often pull focus. And if there's one thing that you shouldn't be doing in a group number, this is just my professional opinion. If you're in a group number, you shouldn't be pulling focus. And Abby shouldn't be choreographing pulling focus moments. It's not on Maddie. Maddie's just doing what she's choreographed, you know what I mean? But Abby specifically including moments that pull focus. And so the majority of our watching of group numbers is focused on how Maddie's dancing with the group. This number, I have never seen a camera so still in its life. I don't think the camera moved much. There were a couple of different shots, but we saw the entire stage. We saw the entire dance. It was brilliant to watch. It was so much fun to watch because we got to see the entire dance pretty much from start to finish with just minimal cuts to different camera shots. There was no zoom ins. There was nothing like that. I mean, there might have been one or two, but not enough to detract from the beauty and the elegance of this number. It was really, really apparent that the show focuses its editing of group numbers around Maddie. And when they don't, we actually get to see the full number as it's intended to be seen. So that was just a really, really powerful moment. Up next, we have, I think this is Runaways. Yeah, every dance is replaceable. I can't lie. I'll put it at the top. But it's tough because this was obviously like the gun dance that was then changed. And I feel like this dance entirely hinges on the audio of the gunshots. And if it doesn't have it, it doesn't make any sense and it's just a kind of weak dance. But when you're watching it with the dialogue behind it and the gunshots and all of that, it's a good dance. But the version that I saw on TV was not good. And it also comes back to the whole, if your dance is relying on the music, the sound to be good and for people to understand it, it's not a good dance. Rosa Parks, we understood what was going on because of the dancing, not because of the sound. I mean, one bus leads to another. I was like, that is a very, very on the nose reference. Do you know what I mean? But I do think that this number just tried to do something cool and it couldn't do something cool because obviously they couldn't release it at the time because of various situations that were happening in the country. But it's an impactful message that was lost because of that. And so the dance just feels weak, especially with the dubbed music. I remember them doing it again and it just didn't hit any different the second time, I feel like. I feel like it was a little bit better because it was in a controlled environment like a studio, but it just didn't wow me like the first time it should have. Like when I watched the dubbed like the actual version, not the dubbed version, it was really good and I did enjoy it. But again, I only enjoyed it because of the sound that I was hearing, adding to the music and adding to the story that it was telling. Up next, we have Dia de los Muertos. Good dance, I can't lie. I thought it was really, really good. I felt like we didn't get to see enough of it. I feel like there's a longer cut out there somewhere, but it was enjoyable. I did have a good time, so I can't fault it too much. Then we skip a couple of episodes. So that was episode 18. Then we skip a couple of episodes to episode 22. And we have Bad Girls and Be Strong. Be Strong. That's the worst dance I saw the entire series. Apart from, in fact, no, that can go and Never Dance Again. It was dreadful. Oh my god. This was the dance where I think Kathy was like, oh, it's about steroids. And I remember watching it going, what part? What are you on about? I mean, I'm assuming it was about like the Lance Armstrong scandal. I'm assuming that happened around the same time. He was a cyclist, I think. But like, I didn't get it. There was one really cool moment where they made the bike. And I thought, that's so cool. But other than that, bad dance. Really bad dance. Honestly. And as for like Bad Girls, bottom of the pyramid, it was kind of poor, I can't lie. Like, I gave it a 6, I think. Like, it just was okay. It was like middle of the road. I think I was being nice giving it a 6 as well, because I gave that dance, the bike one, a 5. So clearly, I don't know what I was on that day. Maybe steroids, who knows? But genuinely, bad dance. Not Bad Girls, bad dance, honestly. I mean, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as some of the ones we've seen this series, but it was still down there with some of the worst. But then we go from some of the worst to some of the best. Living with the Ribbon. Very, very strong dance. Do I think it was as strong as Machine Lines? Not particularly. I think it was stronger potentially than Angels and Demons. No, I don't think it is actually. I think there were moments in it that were stronger, but the overall effect of Angels and Demons was more interesting and exciting. I felt like this, if they knew they were going to do the cancer episode, why did they not do this then? Surely. Because it's only about 10 episodes away. Maybe about 15 actually. But either way, I feel like they should have saved that for like the cancer specific episode. Because it kind of just came out of nowhere. And I was like, oh, okay. We're just going to talk about cancer now. Cool. And then they have a whole cancer special later on. And the dance in that was like, cool, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that was a missed opportunity to save that maybe for later on in the series. But it was still a good number nonetheless. So now we get into the Candy Apple specific numbers. We've got Wide Eyes. I don't really remember it that well. I remember it was the group dance, and this was where they started to mix the boys and the girls together. And it was all right. It was good. But, like, I don't remember it that well. I remember the partner dance section a little bit. But I just don't remember much about the dance as a whole. And then we have the Club Kids number. And I remember thinking, what is this number? That number was messy with a capital M. Oh my god. I mean, Lola Young would have been ashamed of that. That's how messy it was. Honestly, it just didn't scream Club Kids. It didn't scream jazz. I didn't personally enjoy it. Yeah, it was odd. It was a really odd one. They really committed to the characters, though. They really did commit to those characters, and I was proud of them. I have to say, I thought they did really, really well. But in hindsight, first of all, it's quite a forgettable number. Obviously, being a Candy Apple solo episode just wasn't memorable. And I just thought that it was a weird one. It was a really, really odd one. To give Club Kids to children and, like, expect them to understand the intricacies of that whole genre of music and dance. Odd. Just really weird vibes. So up next we have Gone Too Soon, and honestly, again, I would probably put this in Every Dance is Replaceable. Would I put it? Yeah, I put it at the top. I think it was good enough. I liked how there was a commitment to character. I just didn't really think that the dance itself really portrayed Gone Too Soon. If you didn't have them dressed up as the famous icons, this dance would have not made any sense whatsoever. Kind of like the Karma dance, the reincarnation dance. It didn't really make sense without you tacking on that storyline. So I feel like this wasn't a great number because it just didn't boost anything. Do you know what I mean? It was just kind of there. And I watched it and I was like, is that it? Really? We've gone through all of this effort to make some of the girls kind of look like the people. Like, Belle? Don't know where I've got Belle from. Brooke was Amy Winehouse, and I thought that was really good. Chloe was Madeline Monroe. Madeline? Where am I getting these names from? Marilyn Monroe. But then there were other people where I was like, you're giving Kendall, like, what? What are we doing here? We're giving Kendall Selena. That doesn't make sense. And then we had Nia as Whitney Houston, which kind of worked, I guess. I don't know. I feel like it was just a bit of a mess, personally. But you know what? That's Abby trying to do weird things, I guess. Then we had Sugar Babies. Now, this was the reunion. Nope, this was the recital one. It wasn't horrible. It was good. It was fun. There were moments that I really enjoyed. I didn't think it was dreadful. I thought it was fun. There were moments that I enjoyed. There were moments that I did not enjoy. And you know what? Fair and valid. I'm entitled to my opinion. Am I not? Am I not entitled to my opinion, people? Don't be silly now. No, I'm joking. But it was alright. It didn't wow me. It didn't blow me away. It didn't do anything special. But it was good enough for me to walk away from it and be like, that was quite fun. I did enjoy it. I also liked the reveal as well. I think they revealed something as well, which was cool. I think they had like overcoats on and then they were like, wow, we are Sugar Babies. Yeah, anyway. Moving on, we have... I actually don't know what's next. Let me consult my notes. Open Waters. Again, it wasn't horrible. Where would I put it? I'd put it below Money is the Root of All Evil. Open Waters. Again, talking back to the first part of this video, the prop was bad. I'm sorry, you're telling me that that's meant to be the beach and the ocean? It looked like a cheese wedge. It didn't look anything like water or the beach. It just looked like blue cheese. So I feel like it just didn't really need to be there. And then you had somebody dancing on the prop, but obviously Brooke wasn't there. So it just felt a bit wasted. I feel like you should have saved this dance for when Brooke was there and maybe give them a dance that Peyton could genuinely be a part of. And when it went up against Four Seasons, which was the Candy Apples number, which I gotta be honest, very good number. I really, really enjoyed it. I would probably put it above Candy Apple Style. I would probably put it above that one. And I'd put it above the Fosse number. I really enjoyed the Four Seasons dance. I thought it was really, really powerful. It was really, really strong. It was really, really good. And they deserved to win that week. And they didn't. They came third. And I was like, huh? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Open Waters was not that good to win. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I really do question the judges because I think, what are you smoking? Because we're clearly not seeing the same thing here. You're having hallucinations. But anyway, up next, we have On the Verge. Every dance is replaceable, I guess. Like, I don't remember anything from this number other than it being about Kelly having a breakdown. That was the inspiration for this dance. So I just feel like this was not the place for this number. I feel like it was just so forgettable. And it was during that era of time where, like, I'm really getting bored. I think it was when they gave Maddie and Chloe a tap solo and a hip hop solo. And it was just awkward. So I think I was in another bad mood that episode. Oh, God, I'm always in a bad mood sometimes. And they always have the worst group dances when I'm in a bad mood as well. It's like they plan it. They plan it and I'm not happy about it. Oh, God, I've got nothing else to say about that dance. But then we move on to a dance that I have got a lot to say about. Just Be. This was the dance that Gianna came up with when Abby was missing for a whole week. And I think it's probably actually their best dance of the series, if I'm being 100% honest. Don't get me wrong, Rosa Parks was amazing. That was an amazing dance, very powerful. But we're talking about dance. This was sensational. When they redid it on that reunion show, I sat there and I watched the entire thing. And I was like, wow, this is mental. Because I remember watching it and being like, Just Be, which one was that? Which one was that? And I was watching it and I was like, this was the one they did while Abby was missing. And it was sensational. Incredible. Everything flowed beautifully. It moved like butter. Genuinely, I think this could be up there with one of my favourite Dance Mum dances of all time. It's in my top 5, I think. My top 5 being... Oh, God, and now I've got to remember. Maybe I shouldn't do this right now because I don't remember the names of any of them. Twilight's up there. Maybe The Last Text? I don't know. I feel like The Last Text is a powerful performance piece, but as a dance, I don't think it stands up well against other dances. I think it's just a very powerful performance piece. Yeah. But anyway, it is really good. Just Be genuinely top tier. Incredible, incredible, incredible. Very, very good. I was impressed. Next up, we have Black and Blue. I think I didn't understand Black and Blue the first time I watched it. And then when I rewatched it whilst I was editing and when I watched it when the episode premiered, I did enjoy it a lot more and I understood what they were going through. And it's almost interesting. I just wish that they had pushed it a bit further and really, really gone down that dark route. If you're gonna scratch the surface, scratch a bit deeper, do you know what I mean? I felt like there were just moments where I was like, first of all, crazy makeup on Maddie. Mental. Absolutely mental. But I almost wish that, like, we got to see a less Maddie-centric dance and more centric on everybody as a group. being victims of abuse. If we're going to go down that line, let's go down that line. Do you know what I mean? I felt like it just didn't really translate amazingly, but it was still a fantastic number. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still an applause. I still really, really enjoyed it. But yeah, there were just some gripes that I had with it that stop it from inching higher up this list, I guess. Then we come to Phoenix Rising. I remember Phoenix Rising being really good, so I'm going to keep it in applause. I think it was my favourite one over the two. I think Phoenix Rising was really, really powerful as a dance. Obviously, Black and Blue was telling more of a story, but Phoenix Rising as a dance was really, really good. And I think, if I'm not wrong, let me check my list, this was the dance that was choreographed by Yvette, and I thought Yvette did a fantastic job with this number. She didn't get the credit she deserved from the other mums, but I genuinely did think that she did a really, really good job with this number. It was very powerful, very good. Yeah, it was just a great number, and I liked the idea behind it as well. Then we come to Brat Pack. I hated Brat Pack. I could not stand this number. I think, again, the episode that it was in really wound me up and upset me, and so I was just in a bad mood watching it. So you're noticing a lot of themes here where if an episode has put me in a bad mood, I don't rate the group dance. Sometimes they get away with it. Sometimes they do. But this was definitely an example of when they did not get away with it, and it was just not a great number. It just felt bare bones. It felt like they came up with an idea, tried to make a dance around it, and it didn't quite work out. It kind of looked like a parody version of Guys and Dolls, and it just didn't work for me, sadly. It just didn't really translate for me. I wasn't entertained. I just found it tough to watch, I can't lie. Like, I actually can't lie, it was just tough to watch. So, we've only got 3 dances left, and that leads us to Country Cuties. Every dance is replaceable, I guess. I've had to zoom out because there's so many pictures on here. But yeah, we've put her in every dance is replaceable. Where am I going to put it? Do I think it was better than... What even is that dance? Oh, that's the Gone Too Soon. Oh yeah, it's better than Gone Too Soon. The only thing that was kind of bad about this number was Mackenzie falling. Is what it is at the end of the day. The rest of the dance was fun, but it just isn't going to live on as a top 10 dance, do you know what I mean? Like, it was okay. It was all right. So, yeah, a little bit disappointed. Then we come to Home Again. And I'm going to put Home Again... Where am I going to put Home Again? You weren't horrible. Like, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. I didn't love it in the slightest. Like, I didn't think it was amazing. It was okay. Yeah. Yeah, you weren't horrible. Because I think it's memorable enough being a nationals dance. And, like, it had its moments. But when you were up against Voodoo Doll should have won. I genuinely cannot believe that Voodoo Doll did not win. Because I would put it up. Oh, I would put it up here. Voodoo Doll was a very, very good number. A very good number by Blake McGrath, I want to say. Very good. I remember watching it and being like, wow. Wow, I gave it a 10 out of 10. And I only gave Home Again a 9 out of 10 being nice. I think Home Again, maybe if Peyton and Chloe were in it, I might have changed my mind. I don't know. But I just felt like it was missing something. I also feel like editing around Ali made it really weird to watch. So I didn't enjoy it that much. But yeah, that is our list. So our best 2 dances were Just Be from when Abby was away and Rosa Parks. And our worst dances were Brat Pack, Arabian Nights, and the steroid dance. Which, like, what even was that? Honestly, I remember watching it and being like, what are we doing here? But anyway, that is it. I have ranked every single episode and dance of Dance Moms Season 3. Obviously, I might come back at some point and do solos, duets, and trios. Bear with me on that one, because obviously I might save that again from when I'm away, and then I can sort of use filler content. Do you know what I mean? Cheeky, naughty, I know. But either way, I hope you guys have enjoyed the Dance Moms content. It's just been me chatting to a camera for 25 minutes. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. But make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Do all that YouTube stuff that you guys do so well. And I will see you guys in the next episode, whenever that may be. But until then, make sure to keep on ranting. And I'll see you guys later. Bye now. See ya.